Hi guys, welcome back to Ferris Tutorials. Now we have been looking at tourism unit 2 and unit 2 has to do with product development, marketing and entrepreneurship. In today's episode we'll be zooming in a little further on the business aspect of this course and we'll be looking at niche markets. Now, have you ever heard that term before? Do you know what niche markets are? Well, think about it. Stay tuned. Module 1, Product Development. And in today's session, we'll be looking at Content 6, which is entitled Niche Market. Let us now look at the focus points. So in today's lesson, we'll be looking at the definition and description of niche markets. We're going to look at what are niche markets and also what are tourism niche markets. And examples of the tourism niche markets that we'll be looking at are ecotourism, sport tourism, heritage and cultural tourism, health and wellness tourism, community tourism, agro-tourism, events, spa tourism, religious tourism, and also culinary tourism. Now, before we look into details on those different types of niche markets in tourism, it is very important for us to set the foundation, right? And in setting the foundation, we must understand a few key concepts. Now, what are niche markets? Let us see if you are correct. Now, what are niche markets? A niche market is a subset of the market on which a specific product is focused. Now, let us look at a practical example. When we speak of a niche market, is a subset of market for which a product is focused. Now, let us look in the line of vehicles, right? So, vehicles would be the set, right? Now, what would be the subset when we're speaking of vehicles? There are different types of vehicles, right? We speak of Corolla, we may speak of Honda, we may speak of Nissan, right? So those would be the subsets within the vehicle industry. Now, a tourism niche market is a specific market segment, usually with a well-defined product that can be tailored to meet the interests of the customer. Now, for example, in the Caribbean, it includes what? Golf and also bird watching and driving. Now, those would be examples of niche markets. There are persons who travel to certain destinations based on the niche market. So, as we said, for example, in the Caribbean where you have golfing or bird watching, hiking, whatever the case may be, you have persons that travel for different reasons. With niche markets, the product is tailored to meet the needs of the target market. Good. Now, let us look at some examples of tourism niche markets. The first one that we'll be looking at is ecotourism. Now, based on these images, what do you notice are the similarities? And also the prefix that is placed before the word tourism. Eco. Now, are you getting any ideas? Oh yes, I'm sure that you are. Now, ecotourism refers to tourism directed towards exotic natural environments intended to support conservation efforts and observe wildlife. It also refers to responsible travel to natural areas that conserves the environment, as the term eco suggests, right? It sustains the well-being of the local people and involves interpretation and education. Good. Now, let us look at the principles of ecotourism. Ecotourism is about uniting conservation, communities, and sustainable travel, right? It has to do with minimizing physical, social, behavioral, and psychological impacts. Build environmental and cultural awareness and respect. It also provides positive experience for both visitors and hosts. It provides direct financial benefits for conservation, and also ecotourism businesses are designed and construct to operate low impact facilities, right? So the whole idea of ecotourism facilities or ecotourism niche markets is to minimize the physical, social, behavioral, and psychological impacts, right? And to conserve and build awareness and respect for the environment and also cultural awareness. Good. Now let us look at sport tourism. And in this image that you're seeing, the Sir Gary Sobers golf tournament in Barbados attract quite a number of foreigners to the Caribbean. Now, can you think of any sports events in other destinations that attract persons for tourism to engage in sport tourism? Sport tourism refers to the experience of travel to engage or view sport related activities. It is generally recognized that there are three types of sport tourism. 1. Sport event tourism. 2. Active sport tourism. And 3. Nostalgia sport tourism. Now, let us look at an example of what these entails. So the first that we're looking at is sport event tourism. Now, sport event tourism includes trademark events such as Olympic Games and World Cup Soccer Championships, or we may say World Cup Football Championships, right? Depending on our culture, right? Next, we also have active sport tourism, and those individuals who travel to participate in sporting events comprise the active sport tourism category, right? So we have sport event tourism, which includes the Olympic Games and World Cup Soccer, and we also have active sports tourism where persons actually travel. We have the best athletes here in Jamaica, where the athletes actually travel to different destinations, as we have the fastest man in the world. I just got to put that in there. As persons travel to different destinations to engage in active sporting activities. There's also nostalgia sport tourism. Nostalgia sport tourism involves traveling to famous sport-related attractions. Example, sports museums such as the NASCAR Museum in Charlotte, North Carolina. And these are just some images. So persons who are the lover of sports will travel to different destinations just to view the museums, such as sports symbols, artifacts, whatever sports artifacts that are there for their desire. Now, the next that we'll be looking at is heritage and cultural tourism. Now, can you identify these two sites and which country they are located? Can you? Awesome. If you said Rose Hall and Port Royal, you are correct. Now, cultural and heritage tourism refers to a branch of tourism oriented towards the cultural heritage of the location where tourism is occurring. Good. In addition, heritage tourism may be described as traveling to experience the places, artifacts, and activities that authentically represent the stories and people of the past. And heritage tourism can include cultural, historic, and natural resources. Good. Now, guys, let us look at health and wellness tourism. Good. Now, health and wellness tourism refers to traveling for the purpose of promoting health and well-being through physical, psychological, or spiritual activities. Good. Now, the next we have is community tourism. Good. And community tourism fosters opportunities that at the community level for local people wishing to participate more in the tourism industry. Now, this may range from establishing bed and breakfast accommodation in a rural home to creating income generating tourism opportunities for an entire village. Community tourism is about new levels of relationships between the host country and the visitor. What is appealing to the visitor is found among varied natural attractions, local resources, and talents, and indigenous attributes of a community or area. Through visitor community interaction, respective cultures are explored, ideas and information are exchanged, and new friends are made. Good. The next that we'll be looking at is agrotourism. And you may find that agrotourism is a little similar to community tourism. And that as that prefix suggests agro, it refers to, if you said agricultural, you are correct. Agrotourism. The concept of agrotourism is direct. The concept of agrotourism is a direct expansion of ecotourism, which encourages visitors to experience agricultural life at first hand. Visitors have the opportunity to work in fields alongside real farmers and wade knee deep in the sea with fishermen hauling in their nets. Agrotourism also refers to any activity, business, or enterprise that links agriculture with products, services, and experiences in tourism. It can involve staying on or visiting farm, where visitors can watch or help people grow, harvest, and process fruits and vegetables like cocoa, corn, pineapples, carrots, mangoes, and yams. They take care of animals like chickens, pigs, cows, and sheep, or even participate in agricultural fairs, fruit festivals, and also food and crafts market. Good. Now, there are many interesting places where persons can be a part of agrotourism in the Caribbean, ranging from farm-based tourism, health and wellness tourism, community tourism, culinary or food tourism, and agro-heritage tourism and agro-trade tourism. Let us look at some agro-tourism activities within the Caribbean. And we have what is called traditional farming, right? And this is located at Three Rivers Eco Lodge in Dominica. That's the first image. The next we have is Charlestown Bee Farmers, and this is located in Buff Bay Valley in Portland, Jamaica. And at this site you will have tourists come in to help the farmers to engage in their regular activities and routine. You also have the making of cassava bread, as we speak of. Engaging in culinary or food tourism can also bring about agro-tourism, and this is Northwest Organics in Guyana. There is also the making of chocolate sticks, which is done in Northwest Organics, also in Guyana, where persons may travel to engage in these types of agro-tourism activities. Now, let us look at events. Now let us look at events. Do you know of any events or activities that persons travel to be a part of? Right? Now, events in tourism refers to any cultural or other type of unique activity occurring for a limited or fixed duration. So when we say a limited, it may be a one-time event, or when we say a fixed duration, it may be what? Every year at a particular season or at a particular day. Good. And is presented to a live audience. Can you think of any events within the Caribbean region that you know that persons actually travel to engage in these unique activities? Well, let us look at some of the types of events in the Caribbean. So we have Sumfest here in Jamaica. We also have Carnival in Trinidad and Tobago. We have Jazz Festival in St. Lucia. We also have Kedument Day in Barbados, and Grand Kedument Day is Barbados Carnival Day, but it is locally called Kedument Day, right? And the word Kedument is a Bajan term meaning a big occasion filled with fun and merriment. We also have what is called spa tourism. Good. So spa tourism refers to the destinations where people in fundamentally good health focus on getting healthier. Spas are defined as destinations people visit for renewal of body, mind, and spirit. The main strength of spas is to provide relaxation and de-stressing as well as preventative health. Good. There's also religious tourism, right? Religious tourism, also commonly referred to as faith tourism, is a type of tourism where people travel individually or in groups for pilgrimage, missionary, or leisure. We may say fellowship purposes, right? So religious travel can be the primary reason for a trip, but it can also be part of a trip and provide a destination with additional attractions. Good. And as you see here, this is sanctuary is found in eastern Cuba in the village of El Cobre near Santiago de Cuba. Good. There's also culinary tourism. Good. Culinary tourism is defined as the pursuit of unique and memorable eating and drinking experiences. Now, by combining travel with these edible experiences, culinary tourism offers both locals and tourists alike an authentic taste of place in our bountiful province. So you may find that here in Jamaica or other destinations, there are certain culinary experiences that persons will actually go once they're at a visit at a particular destination, right? Some places in Jamaica may include Boston Jerk Center, Little Ochi Seafood. While many cities, regions, or countries are known for their food, culinary tourism is not limited by food culture. Every tourist eats at least 3 meals a day, making food one of the fundamental economic drivers of tourism. Good. Now, checkpoint. Now that we're at the end, you should be able to state a definition for tourism niche markets and also to define and describe each of the following tourism niche markets, right? We looked at ecotourism, sport tourism, heritage and cultural tourism, health and wellness tourism, community tourism, agrotourism, events, spa tourism, religious tourism, and also culinary tourism. And remember, tourism niche markets refers to a subset of market where a particular product is developed for. So tourism niche markets refer to a particular target market. The different types of tourism niche markets are displayed right here, and ecotourism has to do with what? Tourism activities that involve the conservation and respect of the environment. We have sport tourism where persons may travel to watch a particular Olympic game or engage in the activity or go to sports museum. We have heritage and cultural tourism where persons will travel to heritage houses and also different cultural museums to observe the artifacts. We have health and wellness tourism, which has to do with persons who want to get healthier for a relaxed state of mind, right? We have community tourism, where tourists engage in community-based activities, or tourism activities are located within the community. So we may have more persons developing like bed and breakfast facilities or villas within the community. We have AgroTourism, where tourists travel to engage in agritourism activities. It may be beekeeping, it may be regular farming, or even fishing. We have events where persons may travel for jazz and blues festivals, some fest, music festivals, and we may also speak of carnivals as well. Spa tourism, where it's similar to health and wellness tourism, where persons travel to engage in different spa activities to uplift their spirits and also for relaxation. We speak of religious tourism, where persons may travel in individual or as groups to engage in some form of fellowship activities. And culinary tourism, where persons travel for what? For the love of food. So they may want to go to a particular destination because their food is so good and world renowned. And remember, with accommodation also comes food, where persons may have to consume at least 3 meals a day. So food tourism or culinary tourism is one that regulates the economy. You're awesome. You've made it to the end of the video. Don't forget to subscribe, man. Hit that subscribe button and also like, and most importantly, share with persons who you know will find this information useful. Thank you for making it Ferris tutorial.